Have you have you gone back to look at some of the earlier ceremonies that you have done, just from a growth standpoint, to see how far you have matured and improved your game, so to speak?
Yeah, I I went back to so when I first started, I used a script from my church liturgy book, and I cringe at some of the things that I said in those days. Um, and but I think it was maybe a month or two into my business, I met a DJ of all businesses, but a DJ came up to me and she said, "Pastor Cory, you have the opportunity to for a gold mine to share a love story that not many people will ever get to hear in a way that will impact so the couple, but everyone that's gives reason to celebrate." And so when I had this like eye lightning bulb moment from this DJ, it completely reconstructed everything that I would do from that point forward. And so um, I get to a place where this love story becomes the sacrament because that's what God is blessing is everything that happened in that whole dialogue and that whole transition and the sacredness and holiness and all of that together, and then sharing and how that dance happened is beautiful to me. It's an art. um, and so I think that DJ, every single time I see her, I'm just like, you changed my life. You changed the couple's lives. You changed people's who experience weddings, because my weddings aren't a normal experience. It's quite the experience. But that's the whole point, is that this isn't just a normal day, and there's reason that all you people are staring at the three of us right now, and it's just giving purpose to all of it.
Is there an outfit, a uniform? Is there a thing that, like, is that part of the questionnaire? Like, where does what you wear come into this?
So I do ask parts of the questionnaire about colors and what the group what who the person that's I ask what the people are wearing. So I say people because I marry all couples, same-sex couples too, and not everything is always the same for every group of people. Um, but yeah, so colors are important to me. I don't wear a stole. I don't wear a robe. If you want me to wear that, I would charge you extra just because it's uncomfortable, hot and heavy, and I'm not that guy. But I usually just match suits and colors and ties, and usually I mean, you pay me a lot of money, so I look like a lot of money when I'm standing with all of you. There's been a few times though when I guess maybe we book fast or we didn't ask. So like an African American culture often, well, then a lot of them have had colors, color schemes, and the whole guest know about the color scheme. So everyone dresses red and white or black and red or whatever. And so I've showed up where I've not known the colors, and I was like plaid and blue to a red and black wedding. And I had never, I'm already the white guy in the room. I'm just like, I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to be different. The other difference
Way to go,
is
Cory! All you had to wear plaid. Come on, man. Like,
I like to have a lot of color, but and one of the colors would be one of their color. Anyway, it was not good. So I've had a few embarrassing moments. Another one is black tie wedding. So if I come in like a blue suit for a black tie wedding, that's just completely inappropriate. And I don't want to look bad. My goal in life is to never look bad or make the couple look bad, and that's why we have 3 hours of time together. So
I always clash. So I mean, I don't even know what matches and what doesn't. So
when you're Zack Miller, you could do whatever Zack Miller wants.
There you
you're at a level there, sir.
Well, it's partially just because I'm colorblind and I am pattern blind, and I just don't understand any of it.
Cory, you touched on same-sex marriage. What was it experiencing going through that, and with marital equality? Did you get a lot of pushback from traditionalists? And at the same time, I'm sure that it was a very warm welcome from the other side, so to speak. Walk us through that transition.
Yeah, so it was October of 2014 or 15 where the Supreme Court the Fourth Circuit Court gave the stay, and said that marriage equality will prevail in the land. And so I had to choose. My denomination at the time did not accept same-sex marriage. And secretly at the time, I was a non-out, I'm a gay pastor, but I was not out at that time. And so I had to decide then, am I going to put my feet in the sand and support my community that I've been hiding from or through, or was I going to go forward? So as a closeted gay pastor, I said, I'm going to support same-sex marriage. And there was a massive public media response, and I'm considered evangelical, so I was an evangelical that supported same-sex marriage. I was websites and newspapers and broadcast media covered that, and that caused a storm of storms that I never would have thought would have happened. I mean, I remember having death threats. My family owns an exterminating company that I manage, and people ended contracts with us because of that. Other title agencies or whatever said, we're not going to send your family's business anything. And I mean, all this stuff that's happened. Oh, it was sad. I remember some churches, some mega churches, some people sent me links to the thing, said, listen to 26:34. So 26 minutes and 34 seconds. And they either mention be my name or mention my media presence, where they talked about an evangelical supporting same-sex marriage and calling me all the things in the book about how bad I was. But the other part of it is the love stories of these couples who have spent years. I remember my very first same-sex marriage. The couple had been together for 40 years. They were in their 70s. And so, I mean, they lived through Stonewall. They lived through the cops literally pinpointing them and beating them and things like that. So they're walking down the aisle and they're meeting each other in this first time that they can legally be pronounced married for in all their land, because in gay relationships, legalities don't really mean anything, because we were never able to get legally married up until a few years ago. So we've always found our own ways to come up with our own language to be together like that. But the energy and the tears, the eyes full of water, meeting together because you could see all 37, 40 years that they've been together in that moment, walking down the aisle, come to full fruition. My heart broke. And it still breaks every single time, because same-sex marriage was and is still so stigmatized. My own wedding in 2019, that's when I came out publicly, was in 2019. My family didn't even come. So, that's a real part of who we are and how we are as a culture and a land in the southeast Virginia. Surprisingly, though, same-sex couples have asked for God to be mentioned. They want prayer. They want the spiritual component. Some of them aren't. They don't want any mention of God or prayer, and I give them that option. But despite how much the church and society has stained them, they still seek the things that all of us seek: a love of their life, a person to witness their story for the rest of time, and a God who loves them no matter what.
Someone who's been directly involved within the startup community for almost a decade, I want to talk to you about a serious pain point: spending a ton of time trying to understand the business landscape in the 757. That's time that should be focused on growing the business. At StartWheel, we're here to help you by compiling all of the news you need to know about in one place. Now there's no need to search multiple websites. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.